welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk number 342.
It's our
Uh,
second last on Skype.
oh yeah, shit! I still have to upgrade that.
Throwing it out there. It's our second last that we may experience technical difficulties.
Oh, I'm a Skype supremacist.
I think. Yeah. Anyways, let's do some chilling and move on.
Uh, go buy some of these covers over to Greeno Studio. Use the promo code to get 10% off of each item you purchase there. Oh, wait, what?
What happened?
Uh,
Something froze.
no,
Nothing's frozen.
instead of I copy pasted the wrong thing, and
Word.
I also accidentally deleted it, which would be bad. So go over to there.
Happy Easter, Stefan.
Happy Easter. Go
Happy egg hunting.
in the snow. Go to Skinny Play. Do the same thing there with discount code and link and stuff. Come join our Discord if you haven't yet already.
Some good discussions there.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's like nearly 1,300 people now. Crazy.
Yeah, I think you're at 1265, something around there. It's growing pretty good.
I don't know where you're all coming from, but you're there, so happy to have you.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's good to have discussions.
Uh, I feel like I woke up with a head cold, so I'm a bit low energy today. Uh,
Right on.
how was your week?
Short. There was not much to do. Well, Friday I was off, so that was kind of fun. Didn't really do much. Sat home and listened to the 90s for a bit because I knew
Sweet.
everybody else is at work, right? So just fucking gave them a little bit.
No,
Which
no,
was,
no warnings from neighbors. No, like,
oh no, man, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, right? So by then everybody's gone. And if you have an issue at 11 in the morning during the day, then piss off
yeah,
those few songs because, yeah, you can't really sit here and blast those things for 2 hours straight in your head. It's too much.
it starts to hurt after a while.
Even though they're clean as they are, like it's too loud, I find nowadays. So, but I do like to listen to them. So that's what I did, and that was that. And
Uh,
then I went to Walmart and I bought, I don't know why, just $5 Lego loader. I need to gather bricks because I finally figured out in Bricks how to turn on the C port on the e-tron, so I have the headlights now working on my model.
mm-hmm.
But now I just need to build them in because I'm gonna remove that, like, whatever the sticker grill with the fake headlights is on. So that's gonna be one of those things when I'll probably go and dig up a couple CDs out of the storage. So I'll load up the 9000 and listen to the 90s while I play with Lego again, like the old times, and listen to some CDs.
I did a lot of your work today, or
Oh,
not
what'd you
today,
do?
like last week. I ran cables in the attic.
Oh, so much fun. Was it at
So
least cold out?
no,
Or
well,
oh,
for Florida, yeah, it was like mid 80s, which is like 25.
fuck. That's still a lot.
So in the
I
attic, it
never.
was like 35, 38,
Mm,
something like that.
yeah, no, that's no joke.
So I have security cameras on the corners of the house now, and I have actual wired internet to my computer in this room.
Oh, good.
And I did it properly. I put it in the wall
Nice.
instead of like where you just drill a hole and this cable gets
No,
right
no,
there,
fuck that. Like you gotta go through the stud space.
which was a huge pain in the ass because
Yeah, it's pretty close to the pitch of the roof, no?
that too, but also all the interior walls are insulated.
Oh, so it's hard to see where.
Well, it's impossible. And for some reason, due to the insulation, the only way my fish tape would go down is behind, even though it's further over, right? It's just somehow followed the line to the electrical outlet. Meaning, so I had to cut another hole to literally grab it from there and push it. So I had to patch the wall more than once. It's like,
You already fucking make a hole. 2 or 1 doesn't make any difference. You're painting the whole wall when you're fixing it. So
yeah, and where I had to
but
drill
yeah,
a hole
that's
to
not fun.
put the
Attic is not
cable
fun at
down
all.
is, I don't know. I mean, it was maybe this high.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, what, 60 centimeters? So anytime you go drill and you go like that, there's like nails. It's like, damn it.
I've done my share of attic space, and yeah, that's one of the reasons why I have a blower fan, because sometimes you have that goofy insulation that it stomps down. So with the blower fan, you can revive it essentially. But I also have like an M18 regular fan that I usually have sitting on the bottom of the floor where the opening is to get inside the attic space, and I have the thing full tilt blasting the air, so it just at least pushes colder air inside the attic space.
I had to, 24-inch box fans up there. Made
Yeah,
little
dude,
difference.
it's fucking hot. Like, yeah, 24 degrees outside, that's hot. I remember doing, oh, fuck, where was it? There was a few attics that we've done, man, and it was just unbelievable heat.
Oh, it's like I walked up there right before you did any of the ballerinaing on any of the joists. It's like, okay, I'm already like sweating. By the time it was done, like it felt like I swam without going into a pool.
That, and it just sucks because your hands get slippery and the cable, like it sucks.
And
Shit
all that
sticks to your
pink
hands.
fluff, all these. Like even 2 days later, I found like fiberglass splinters on me.
Yeah, you know what? I actually, in my van, I carry a full-on suit, like one of those white painter suits. So if there is a shitty need of me having to go in something like that, I also have a dust mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a proper N95. I always carry that in the van because I've gotten my lesson with that. And yeah, the insulation, once it gets in your skin, you're fucked. And then what happens? You get out, you put your jacket on, you drive home, and then your entire hands are itchy, and then you have to wash the jacket inside out with all that shit out of it because there's no other way. So yeah, if I need to ever do that, I do carry I wouldn't call it a hazmat suit, but like a painter suit with the full on hood and everything. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I have one I didn't wear. It was too hot. Like I would have died wearing it.
I know, and that's another problem. Then when it's so hot, your skin gets sweaty and it sticks even more.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm out.
Yes.
I would wait till it rained or some shit, bro. Wouldn't go on the roof like that. You couldn't pay me to do that.
Yeah.
Or do it early in the morning, type of thing, right? When it's not too hot. Yeah. But even then, it's still like the Florida doesn't get too cold over the night. Not like in here or Calgary.
Yeah, at night it's like, I don't know, 21 C or something like that.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't drop to like 8 where it like sufficiently cools down.
No, so. And yeah, it was I mean, obviously for this room right here, right, like where you go into the attic is in the opposite side of the house.
Oh, nice.
So it's in the garage. So, and this is on the opposite side. And it's like, just to get through it, because I'm lucky, right? Like most American houses have stud base 16 on center. Here it's 24. But I'm still wider than 24 inches on center. So there's almost nowhere where I can just stand like this. It's like your feet are like this, and you stand like this to be in between like the trusses and stuff. Like,
those, I hate that shit, man. But you know what? There's nothing worse than falling through.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the last thing I'll ever need to do in my attic is make a better platform to get to the air handler and stuff. Because currently that's, I don't know what they did.
Plywood.
Yeah, but it's cut so badly, right, that it doesn't sit on top of all the trusses. So they just shot a nail at a 45-degree angle.
To kind of sort of make it work.
Yeah, so if you stand on that corner, if you're not careful, like the whole piece of plywood just goes down and touches like the drywall.
Oh fuck! Yeah, no, you gotta fix that.
I'm also too heavy. Like this was probably built by like 5'5" people, like almost a 1 foot larger.
Sit there, you fall through with all this shit trying to fix it.
I mean, that's one good thing, right? If I misstep, I cannot fall through to the ground because I'm wider than the trusses. I'll just like hang there like this. But it's yeah, it's pretty awful. But now it's mostly done. The only wire I could potentially ever need to pull again is towards the garage, so that's sort of fine. I mean, other than maybe speaker wire, but that's all laid and it's fine. But yeah, Ubiquiti cameras up and running everywhere. I also went to Walmart. I bought one of their tablets.
So you have like a door tablet now?
Yeah, essentially, because Ubiquiti has like this Ethernet to HDMI converter thing, right? So you can look at your security cameras on the screen. But that converter box thingy they have, it's like $200, which is like, okay, makes sense. But
it's like a Balun. It's a weird Balun type, I guess.
Yeah, but they have an app. And just about anything can run the Unify Security app.
Yes.
So I bought an Android tablet. This is my first Android device in like 15 years. And I just hung that in the kitchen, like because it's a screen and everything in one, right?
Yeah.
And you can talk through your doorbell on it as well, and that sort of thing.
Welcome to the Android era, bro.
I mean, their Walmart brand Tablet Pro is like $130 or something. So it's like,
yeah, they're cheap. Android tablets are way cheaper than iPads.
It runs really well. It's really quite fast. I mean, it's Google, so it doesn't look as slick, and everything is in a different place, which is still...
Yeah, but if you're running one app, just committed to it, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've run 3 apps. I run the Unify app.
Yeah, but you're not checking your email on it and shit, right?
Oh, like, no.
It's a straight utility tablet.
It's not even attached to any email.
So, exactly.
It runs Ubiquiti, it runs Deezer, and it runs the B&O app. But nice. But for some reason, the B&O app doesn't see it's a tablet, so it only goes up and down, right? So it doesn't go into landscape mode.
Weird.
So, yeah. My wall mount for the tablet is like, I can twist it. That's what I bought for it. Because every time I open
B&O app, you just do a 90 on it.
Yeah, I mean, every time you open the B&O app, it opens in portrait mode. And then everything thereafter you opens in portrait mode. So if you wall mount it in landscape mode, right, it's like...
Yeah, no, that's silly.
So you would have to take it off, do one of these things, and then put it back. It's like...
See, I don't know, but good point. But, well, I have only a phone. I don't really have an Android tablet anymore. But, yeah, the screen doesn't rotate. But, again, it's a phone, right? So it doesn't even do that on the iPhone. It doesn't rotate. Yes, it'll flip upside down. If
it doesn't. On the iPad, it goes sideways to be
on the iPad, it goes sideways. But I don't know. I just wouldn't... No.
Yeah, I mean, it's more so that just in case.
Yeah. No, I just don't know why they don't, like on the Android, they don't turn landscape. It's just, is it too much to ask, I guess? But you don't have your screen locked, I'm certain of it, right?
No, because it switches on everything else.
Yeah, so that just doesn't make sense.
I mean, I even screen locked it in landscape mode, and still it opens up in portrait mode. So
what if you check off that use in a wall bracket mode?
I did that too. No,
it
just stays on. Change. It just like stays on sideways.
That's silly, man. Yeah.
I mean, I guess on Android there's too much differentiation in all the, because this is a Snapdragon something or other, and it's a Walmart brand, and it's really weird. I think it's the screen resolution is like 1820 by 1200, which is like, what the fuck is that?
What is that? Yeah. That's weird.
So it's less than full HDMI, but it's also more than full. 1080p, but it's sort of more than full HD and less than full HD. It's weird.
That makes no sense.
Anyway, it works fine, and it's actually kind of nice. And
maybe that's why, because that resolution standard or format isn't supported within the B&O's native app, so it doesn't know that it needs to turn.
Yeah, it looks at the Samsung tablets as well, and they have weirder resolution still.
Weird.
So, okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't mean the Halo's just below it, so but it's more so like just in case you need it or whatever. But also for the kitchen, it's kind of nice to do Deezer from there because you get like the whole album art thing going.
Yeah.
Which is nicer than in the B&O app, and like AirPlay or Chromecast in this case, it's the same quality, if not better.
It works the same, yeah. BeoLab 18s plus 19 plus core bundle for 10K versus BeoLab 8 for 7K. I would ask what's the use case of it, because if you're going, well, I guess at any rate, the 18 and 19 is a no-brainer for me with the core. The only thing that I would add into that bundle would be a BeoLab transmitter 1 and a BeoRemote 1 controller. Because then 19s and 18 is properly crossed over, and you have a nice remote to control that with, versus Lab 8s. And also you have an HDMI, so you can connect your TV into it, so then you can utilize it more than for 7K Lab 8s, which you would need a core if you wanted to do the TV. But if you want modern speakers and just for music, let's say for the office, obviously that's way less headache to hide the cables and all the equipment, to just get 2 Lab 8s with 2 power cords going from one each from speaker, and that's it.
Yeah, also, are you looking to buy with future purchases in mind? If you ever want to buy a theater or whatever, I would definitely go 18 and 19. Use the core for something else at some point, or not get it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, for living room is not a use case. What do you mean for living room? As an audio system for just music, or for like connecting your TV to it? Because if you want to connect it to a TV, the core is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that you can potentially connect it to? If you already have a theater, I would say like talk to your dealer and see if you can get an extra discount by not having the core.
Yeah.
I mean, I take it.
If you want to connect it to the TV, then it's a no-brainer. Get the 18-19 core combo, and like I said, get a transmitter, because then you're basically, the freedom of placement is exactly the same as if you had the Lab 8s and you have a subwoofer. Which, yes, the Lab 8s sound great, but there is no match of Lab 8s versus an 18 with a 19.
No, I have a 19 and 18s right here, and
the Lab 8s, and
the 8 sounds extremely good, don't get me wrong, but when that 19 starts going,
when it rolls in, that's...
God, you just hear the size of the driver, right?
Yes.
I mean, Curly was over here, like 2 weeks ago, and same song, did it on the 18, on the 8s, then went to the 8 setup through the Moment, and then went to the living room and did the same song, right? And you can just, like, you get from good bass to, like, enormous driver bass to, like, huge in the living room.
To the Dooley 50s.
Well, I mean, there is such a thing as, like, smaller drivers playing, like, 30 hertz, let's say. And yes, they play that bass well, and they can do it at a certain pressure. But there is a sound difference when the driver is bigger. This can be
Well, it
both a
moves
good
the
and
air
a bad thing.
more comfortably. You can. It's not as sharp of a movement of the air because it's just moving more of it.
Yeah, it can be a good and a bad thing, right? Like if your driver is too big for a certain frequency, then it kind of sounds like deeper and lazier. But inversely, like if it's kind of small for what it's doing, it'll sound thinner and more like a punch than like a like bass, like a full on roll, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that 19 is in a pretty good sweet spot for a lot of things.
I agree. I have one in the bedroom. I love it.
I mean,
Definitely
you
elevates the
you can
music
A/B
and
test
movies.
this at home, right? Like your 18s will happily play 60 hertz, but like that sounds way different on your 18s versus on your 90s. And it's just the
Yeah,
size
there's
of
no
driver
comparison.
that's playing it.
Yeah, there's no comparison, really.
Even though, like, on a technical level, they play the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 90s move way more air for what they not that what they need to, but you can tell the difference that the presence of the music is much more vivid and real than from, let's say, the 18s. I was thinking of toying with the idea of buying another
19?
another receiver because I have the Lab 11 egg just sitting here for no reason, to just put a receiver on it and just tie it into the theater and have like a speaker group that I can turn the chair around basically and listen to the 18s in stereo, because that's also a good spot from building Lego. So then I
Yeah,
can
why
have like
not?
a
That's one of the speaker groups I got made fun of for last week.
for what, doing the 18s
No, when if I
or
have to reset my theater, that I have like 15 speaker groups. Because my
yeah.
rear 50s are like a dining room table thing when I like literally face the rear 50s.
Fuck. One thing that I want to do is I want to update the firmware. I think that I need to update the firmware on my 19 and one of the receivers that I have in the bedroom, because sometimes it drops out from the WISA on the TV. But I don't think that if I do it through the transmitter with the USB stick, the software is as current as it is on what the theater can push through. Now, if I pair those, let's say I'll check all two transmitters and the 19 into the system, in order for me to get rid of those speakers, even though they're not connected to anything, because they'll start appearing in shit, I'd have to reset the factory, the theater, or delete all the speaker presets and retune my theater again.
Enjoy.
It fucking sucks. Or I'm gonna ask Kareem if I can borrow the, because I think we're taking apart the display theater in the shop soon. So I wonder if I can just take it before I drop it in the warehouse, take it home for one night and pair my speakers to it, update the firmware, reset the theater, put it back in the box, and move on with my life. But I will try it tonight with the USB sticks on the transmitter.
I mean, at least you go up a version in firmware, but I think the latest firmware is only through like
The
connect.
theater
Yeah,
itself, it's only through the theater because BeoConnect Core doesn't have a WISA, and the only one that you can do it with is a transmitter. Where the fuck do I
um,
have that?
you don't have the laptop whatever install software with when you connect it by wire.
The service tool doesn't have the latest software in it.
That is so weird.
You have to use if you want the proper USB, a proper USB. If you want to do a proper software update to the latest that there's possible, you have to plug it in, and it's a process to do. Like gotta hold your fucking left earlobe and stand on your right foot and plug in the transmitter before you plug in you plug in USB stick, and then you plug it into the power. Then it checks itself, and if it needs update, it'll update firmware on its own in the transmitter itself. then it reboots, and then it pushes the software one by one to each speaker connected on the transmitter. But it's kind of a fucking, I've done it once, and it's one of those that there's very little information you can get out of just blinking, looking at shit blinking, right? And if you look at shit blinking long enough, it turns to eternity over time, right?
Yeah, from
and then
what
you doubt, like you just doubt. So I honestly, like, when I do that kind of shit,
just
I
let it
let it
sit for
run,
15 minutes, 30
and
minutes.
I go out. Yeah, I leave the room. I
Yeah.
just leave the room.
From what I gather, the absolute latest version is only a sort of latency correction for the theater. And similar, right?
Yeah, they're connected to the old Avant, so I'm gonna do them through the transmitter update, and that's it. That way, I just need to delete them from the TV and redo them in the TV. And quite honestly, like, there's only two distances, and I kept the dBs basically the same. I ran the microphone for the shits and giggles. I told you that, eh? I ran the microphone through the Avant, like the old school.
Yeah, the 3.5. No, was it
room
the
sense? Yeah, it's the 3.5. The old school room sense, and it's pretty interesting how quiet it is when it's doing it, and then it brings everything down by a whole bunch of dBs. So my like average listening volume was 55 in the bedroom, which after I reset it and put it back, like 30 was too much, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's quite loud.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Anyway.
It wasn't, not with the microphone. So I deleted the microphone, but I just kept the out of the whole thing, I kept the distances, because it does the distance is still pretty good, even though it's only a single point of calibration, just like the 90s have, I guess.
I mean, I was going to say, even on our stage in the bedroom, I don't think we're ever much go over 45.
No, like I don't go over, like, even 50 is too much sometimes when you watch like some poorly recorded movie. Then it's quiet, but it's a lot, especially when you switch to something that is more recent. All of a sudden, holy fuck, or volume down, grabbing the BO time and shit, because that still works with IR. I wish they did something that as an accessory that, like, works. Even if it works on Bluetooth, I think it would be cool to have an alarm clock again that works with your system, instead of just wake up timers in your app.
Very high net worth individual, and we're integrating the whole house and stuff like that. Why not?
In my opinion, Halo should have had a chime capability.
Yeah.
And make it an alarm. Like, that would have been a great alarm clock / remote control. I don't think you should require a $2,000 whatever Canadian investment in a BeoLiving Intelligence just because you want to have a clock displayed on your fucking remote.
Correct.
But weather, right?
The BeoTime, right? That was an era of expensive thinking, because that was a period of like whole home integration when nobody was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, we can make your alarm clock a remote and make it look exquisite. And people would laugh at you if you said, like, I bought a, what was it, $300 alarm clock at the time or whatever.
Yeah, the flute. Yeah.
But that was very high net worth thinking, right? Because, like, but it also solves certain things. Like, you can literally attach it to stuff, and it can be a remote for many things. And it's very elegant. But I guess now we do that on our phone in an app, so you can check your email straight away or something.
Yeah, I always divert into something else. Like, I never just open my BNO app and fuck with something and I close my phone. Doesn't happen ever.
No.
You always divert into something. So even when
it's
I pick music,
what's on Discord? And I appreciate you all, but like, this happens to me too.
Because I always do. I'm curious to see what's going on Discord. So I look at it and fuck, oh shit, I need to pick another song now. Instead of just being indulged in the app, like when I was, sitting in front of the 90s with the Moment and the jukebox tablet, right? And you just have nothing in front of you but volume control and the entire world of music in front of you on a tablet. And I think it's missing. It's definitely missing in today's day and age and interface. They're pushing for turntables, which essentially is the same concept. It's a physical interface with music because you have to feed it vinyl in order to have something come out of it. So why not have an audio master that you can sit in front of or have it on you, with you, whatever, and it doesn't have capabilities of your phone. It's just the app with music.
This is weirdly why I like my new tablet that I just bought for like $100 and something odd dollars, because like it's purposely set up that way, and it's also the one that it has the operating system in a different ecosystem than everything else. It's sort of like all it does is house stuff.
So it's even not even motivating to fuck with,
No,
basically, right? It's just, yeah, you open that and
I
that's
can
that.
look at my cameras, at my network, or at music, and that's it.
It's perfect.
Like there's, I took the YouTube off there. I took all the Google stuff as much as I can off there.
Yeah,
It's
all
like,
the bloatware, and just hide everything in a folder on a second page, and then you have just 3 apps. That's exactly, I would put a fucking black piano background on it, and that's that.
yeah, so
And
that's it.
there is your audio master, I
I mean,
guess.
again, it's so cheap. If the screen burns out, I'll buy a new one in like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I initially thought, oh, I can make dual use of my iPad, right? But it's an iPad Pro, so it has like the OLED screen. It's like, this is not going to be on the wall on all the time, because that's definitely going to burn out.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I bought a very cheap ass laptop, and it's actually, or a tablet, and it's actually quite good. It's surprising how good it is for the money that's been asked. It's just that it's Google, and it automatically spies on everything until you say no.
You know what's I'm very pleased about whatever was the recent update on the TV. It stopped bugging me for all the bullshit agreements and nonsense. It just, I guess, understood that I'm not budging, and that's it. And I only agree to the first 2 things in my TV. And that's
Yeah, the
that.
absolute minimum to use the built-in apps and just to use it, I
To
guess.
be able to turn it on, yeah, and that's it. So, because I don't like that, and I've seen I don't know if it was on the somewhere in there. I think it was a note in a TV or notification, a message that says that the Google services are also being going away.
Good.
Google and Alexa is going away from LG. I think May 1st or at the end of May. I'm not sure, but it's this year, 100% before summer.
They're probably going to make their own nonsensical AI, but like,
Well,
fingers
they have that
crossed,
Hey LG nonsense, right?
it's shitter than whatever Google does, and just
Oh.
say no to that.
I saw somewhere scrolling through bullshit on the internet that somebody found out that their LG washing machine is using 3.5 gigabytes of data a week.
If you connect it to your network, it will, yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, you can. This is another thing, right? Like, you can. It's getting to the point where, like, our washing machine is like this as well, and it has a button for it, and it has an app, and I refuse to do anything of the sort with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, like, in the app, set exactly how many RPM you want your tub to spin, what sort of rough cycle for the back and forth it does, how long it spins, how fast it spins, how much water it uses. And you can, like, literally upload customized washing profiles.
But at a cost of your privacy.
Essentially, yeah. So, like, I just have a button on my washing machine that does fuck all, because I never connected to anything.
Yeah, I don't understand the stove. Like, yeah, I have QR codes on my stove.
Yeah.
What the fuck is there a Wi-Fi module in these things, you know? Like, come on. It's insane.
Well, they want to know when you use it. Like, it's...
And how much you use it, yeah.
I mean, they can probably tell, right, to an extent, what if you're using powder, liquid, or tabs in terms of, like,
washing cycles.
No, in terms of washing detergent, right? And that is like handy for, like, the advertisers to know which household uses what type of liquid or detergent.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you still know
The thing
anybody?
is that they still blast their Wi-Fi access point in your house. That's what I don't like.
Correct, nor do I. I've caught it trying to connect to the network, and I blocked the MAC address.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, how many of those devices do you have in the house, and then you wonder why your Wi-Fi speakers drop off,
Yeah.
or whatever else have you, because it's just too much.
Yeah, it's God. Pretty soon, well, it sort of is already, but pretty soon the luxury feature will be the non-connected appliance, right?
I think so. I think we're gonna go full circle to something that, not everything needs a Cat 6 port,
Mm-hmm.
or RJ45 rather.
Or if it does,
So
it's the only connection way. It's not. It doesn't have Wi-Fi anymore or anything of the sort. If you need to do any update or whatever, it's through an actual cable. But other than that, it's dumb, right? Like there's no connectivity at all. Because our fridges are now connected as well. If you buy a new enough fridge, it's like why?
I remember back in the day, like when the Internet of Things was at the like the infancy of itself, and it was so cool. Oh my God, you have a fridge that has a screen on it, blah blah blah. And now it's gotten to the point where not everything needs to be policed or monitored, or I don't know. Everything's monitored now. Even BNO, if you look at it, how much of that stuff gets talked back to the servers in Denmark and comes back, like it reports everything basically. Status updates. Like if you look at the monitor, I don't know how much of it goes back into the BNO, but there's a lot of traffic within its own environment when you consider how much BNO communicates within itself.
I mean, they can probably tell when you get home, when you start doing stuff, and when you go to bed and stuff like that.
Oh well, they 100% can tell in mine because I got fucking macros that are called bedtime, for God's sake. So I'm not hiding shit. I'm going to definitely. You know what? The only thing I guess, speaking of macros, and I'm sorry to be all over the map with it, but I found since I changed the run by custom macro button to a scene button on the Halo for my gateway and like to trigger the macros,
Mm.
I find that the touch sensitivity is way too much now on the Halo. Like if you try to scroll through buttons, it tends to click the button as you're pushing it upwards to the next screen, and then it triggers weird shit. And I don't know what's going on because you press a bunch of different things that you didn't
I don't
intend
think it's
to.
that. I think it's the latest update because I've noticed that too. And I don't
On
have
what?
any of this. Like even if I want to scroll to a different device, if I put my finger remotely near pause play, it'll pause play. Either one, depending on the status, right?
On the Halo?
Yeah. Like
Okay, so I'm not
scrolling
going
on it
crazy.
is
It's
is
just
like
it's
super sensitive now.
so I'm not the only one then, I guess, because this
Yeah.
is it is weird, man. Because I have this issue that you have to like be very careful where you scroll. Also, what I don't like is that it should be showing as TV in bed with my moods to be the center, right,
Mm-hmm.
as a default, but it always goes to the very beginning, which is the movie.
Hmm.
I don't know why it doesn't remember it correctly in the for and in the gateway it's checked off the same way. I even rebooted it a couple times and whatever. But yeah, I'm on 2.0.1957, which is the latest and the greatest from the Halo. I do like the battery storage mode, so which is more or less like also a glorified reboot button without an option to turn it back on.
Yeah.
So instead of hitting the reset, put it back so it fires back up.
No, yeah, I found with the Halo recently or since the latest update that you essentially, if you want to scroll anything, you need to put your finger where literally no icon is. Otherwise, you're pressing it.
That's what I'm starting to find out, and yeah, it wasn't like that before. Like you could actually swipe off and scroll, and then like if
Yeah.
you tapped, I don't know, it was more like on the verge of like the BO6 almost, right, where you have to like actually push a little bit, not BO5 because that was a tactile screen, right? But the screen was actually squishy. Old days, bro.
Yeah.
They should bring BO6 back, man. call it BeoTalk or something, man, with the freaking huge. Let's do like an OLED screen on it.
BeoLink something or other.
BeoLink 6.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, if you can buy like this pretty awesome tablet, yeah, from
Like, why not?
If you can pretty awesome tablet for cheap from like Walmart and whatnot, why can't it be your audio master, right? Because you're just borrowing the internal sources of anything Mozart.
I think that this would totally nowadays have a computational capability to support all that.
Yeah, easily.
And the screen is, in my opinion, large enough on the BO6. You know, if they stretched it edge to edge, which there's possibility to do, right? Because then it still was like if you look at it, it's the proportions of a BeoVision 7, whatever 40 or whatever size, right? Like it has those wide contours on the side. But I think that would be a great idea.
I would have one of those. I would probably have two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have something like that, I would almost say I'm going to build in my Halo to the wall somewhere and not run that as a general volume down.
Yeah, I think that remote was cat's ass. They fucked it with the software.
As per always.
But you know what? If you were committed enough like myself, you would figure out how to do it properly and then, get into the buttons with the pictures and macros and blah, blah, blah. But that took a while to do. That was a lot of playing around and understanding the fact that if you're adding a new product to an existing configuration, you are starting from scratch is the main.
Yeah, but now, I mean, it's now all, you can have something like that run the B&O app and it just drag and drop essentially.
Yeah, it could be the GUI could be configured completely from the app, but then again, is it really like the same thing with Halo? If you look at Halo right now, connected to the theater, it has which I'm not complaining. My only problem is that that useless screen with the skip forward, skip backward volume wheel and fuck all and a YouTube as a source name that it says.
Yeah.
Why is that alone? And then you scroll one up and it's all the my buttons are alone on their own. And then you scroll one up and it's your speaker presets and sound modes. It should have been combined and condensed into like something that is way more logical.
Yeah.
Way more logical, because this doesn't make any sense. Evening, Michael. And I think that they need to adjust that because it's annoying. You have 7 screens to go through if you want to go to a my button right now or change the source. Like if I want to go from YouTube to Deezer on the Halo, you have to scroll for freaking miles, right?
Yeah. And better hope you not click anything by scrolling.
Yeah, the workaround that I found is easier, that you actually click on the very top where it says the room, or in my case it says info, right? Because that's what I default to as the default page. And then it brings you to the menu of all the rooms list, right? So you can scroll through. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to nuke all the unnecessary rooms. I'm just going to keep the Halo in the living room and commit it directly onto the living room without anything because I have hallway, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom on it too, and I don't really bring it into any of those environments. And I think it just convolutes, it's just too much. It doesn't change anything the way that it interfaces with on the main screen with the theater, because those screens are still fucking all over the place, and it pisses me off. But there ain't shit I can do about it. I wish that you could modify that in the gateway where you can only add 3 extra pages. And I haven't reached the limitation of buttons. I'm trying to see how many I can go before it says, "Hey,
I want
bro,
all the buttons."
I want all the buttons. That's it. But yeah, it works well. The one thing I don't like when it comes to BLI is that in the Avant, if you press the home control button on the TV on the remote, sorry, and you call up the home control, it is a overlay that's essentially it's continuously running. Have you have a gateway or not? But that overlay is continuously running. So it's just like your menu overlay. When you press menu and it just slides from the side, it's the same with the gateway. Where on the theater, if you go to the Beo Living or B&O app, it fucking kills the app that is currently in, and it goes into the B&O intelligence app, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can do your lights and whatever, and you back out, and then you're in the home screen of your LG panel. Fuck, I want to go back to YouTube, and then you go back to YouTube, it starts the video from somewhere else, or it doesn't even restart the correct video. So I don't like that. So I don't think that was really an intent for LG or the Mozart platform based users to be able to utilize or LG platform based customers to utilize the B&O app on the home screen of the TV, unless you disrupt your entire program when you're doing that. Because even if you do the whole app, it will stop the radio from playing.
Michael, buy some 8s. You already have 18s and a 19. Go buy some 8s. They're very nice. I really like
if
the
you
8s.
want to do anything, pull a trigger on it now, because May 1st, we're gonna be 15% across the platform. I think it's the roughest and the toughest now.
I don't believe their explanation one bit.
No. It's just why not?
Their explanation is utter nonsense, if you ask me. It makes no sense on any level. I think it's an opportunistic way of just adding more pricing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have, 11 days left before the prices are up globally by like 15%.
11 days. Yeah, better step on it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, even if the tariff is 15%, right? It's 15% on whatever B&O charges the dealer, not on the MSRP. So, and currently, as I understand it, the tariff is supposed to be 10%. So they're just adding more to it because
buffer. Better be safe than sorry, Mikey. You don't understand how this works.
But also, they're saying they're going to squeeze their transportation costs from their transporters.
Where in Canada? They're probably, because we cut the carbon tax or whatever the fictional tax.
I don't know. That's what they said. I think they're going to try and squeeze suppliers and shippers and everything as much as they can to cover the tariffs.
Christ on a cross, please don't do that, because it's already abysmal to get stuff into Canada without having it fucking arrive in 3 more pieces than you ordered. Yeah. So if you even go cheaper on the shipping, then I think personally I would advise to forget sales of BeoVision Harmony in Canada, because it's impossible to get it shipped here without any damage or a forklift go through the fuck. We just got another one 2 weeks ago, same thing, 2 forklift falls into the panel.
Well, maybe Canada is just especially bad at shipping or something. I don't understand.
I don't know where, but it's absolutely atrocious. So yeah, for us, if that happens, I think that the Harmony is becoming an unsellable product due to the fact that we cannot get it here in one piece. It's sad. So everything else is fine. I still think that the theater box is too flimsy.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's packed pretty tight, right? Like it's packaged to the point where, like, if essentially
it's old
nothing
school packaged
can
still with the styrofoam, right? It's old school packaged. But I just don't like the fact that if you grab it up, whatever, in a certain way, the fucking manuals just slide out of it. That was a little underthought. It should have been.
That's just 2 pieces of extra tape on either side.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all it needs.
I mean, as I've said on the Discord, right? If for whatever reason we get a trade deal by tomorrow or by May 2nd, right?
Mm-hmm.
This price increase won't come off. So it's actually not related to tariffs. This is also why I don't believe them.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the way it works is like there is a margin for dealers, right? So like the dealer doesn't pay MSRP to B&O because that would be insane. And as a general rule of accounting, you cannot tariff on what the end price is because you don't know. That would be such a clusterfuck. Because if you as a dealer buy let's say 5 sets of 50s, right? Imagine having to pay a tariff on the end price that you don't know. That could be a year from now. And then depending on who's the customer, depending on how much discount they got or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just, so they pay it only on the price they pay to B&O, which is like, let's say it's half, right? If the tariff is 10% on that, but they B&O now says to us, actually the increase because of the tariff is 15% on MSRP. That means the tariff price increase is double of what the actual cost is.
Yes.
It's
already pretty pricey. I honestly, and ironically, we don't really see the dip in sales when it comes to the B&O. I think we're definitely doing better than last year and the year before.
What I also quote unquote don't understand, and why I think it's a bullshit reason, right, is that out of all B&O sales, something like 12 or 13% or so go to the US and Canada. Yet, and that's like the US is the only country changing tariffs, right? Yet somehow the entire globe is affected by this price change.
It's just a scam, dude. I don't think it's the tariffs. That's just it's called,
yeah, but this
it's
is why
segue to tariffs.
This is why I don't believe their explanation. Like, I understand what they're saying, I just don't think it's true. Like, I think it's a lame excuse to do something they wanted to do anyway.
I think it's a lame excuse to keep up the books to the promise that they probably have made into the investors.
I mean, similarly, if we get a trade, let's say somehow Denmark gets a trade deal where, like, they go, oh, you can have Greenland if B&O gets 0% import tariff, right? I don't know, something like that. B&O would just say, well, the price is the price. It's still plus 15%. Look, we're not changing it because that was tariff related, even though at that point the tariff is no longer there.
Yeah, at that point, it's a freaking...
So it has nothing to do with tariffs. Also, like, why... I don't know, why is Sweden paying 10% more to buy something from Denmark when America is tariffing like Europe? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me too, man.
I mean, for Canada, I sort of understand, right? Because all your stuff comes through New York, and that's just it's a sort of a setup thing that's a bit strange. But like, I don't know, why is Africa or Asia paying 10% more for their B&O when there's no tariffs involved in that trade route? Like, that makes no sense. Yet the price change is global. It's I mean, it is what it is.
Regardless of what we speculate at the end of the day, the shit's going up 15% May 1st, and there ain't a damn thing that me and Mikey gonna do about it. The only thing you can do about it is to close your deal with your dealer before May 1st, so you can save yourself 15% on everything that you're on the fence with. Or at least put like a half down deposit. See if your dealer will order the stuff and wait, and you can pick it up in a month or two or whatnot. But I would slam down because it's getting expensive.
I mean, I wouldn't call it lying. I would more say it's a fairy tale.
Yeah,
it's something they wanted to do anyway, right? They would have done this a few months from now regardless. But you can spin a story out of this stuff going on with here, like the US and the rest of the world.
Well, I think it was more of this opportunity taken.
Yeah, it makes it seem more palatable. And also, if you've never done any sort of accounting or like run a business, right, with margins and stuff, as the layperson, as the consumer, if somebody says there's a 10% tariff on, I don't know, your milk, right? You go, oh, that means if it's $1, it's going to be $1.10. It's like, why? Because like, yes, the Aldi or food store or whatever, right? They charge maybe $1, but they don't pay $1 for your milk.
Oh hell no.
So like the tariff is only on the retail, or not on the retail, but on the business to business costs, right? Like it's,
Yeah, but still,
I mean,
I
it's not
think it's
sales
the
tax.
it's more or less the same with the tariffs here. I think that it's just a scam.
I mean, talk about tariffing. Like Canada tariffs the US like crazy.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Nobody's really talked about it. It was brought up now, so people are starting to wake up. But yeah, it's not as bad. Like America, not as bad as we were taught to be by the mainstream media, more or less, because we're doing the same shit to them.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's just where it's at.
I mean, feel however you want to feel about it. Like I don't think there's an inherent. Like I understand it from a Canadian perspective, right? Like if Canadian chicken farmers had to compete with the American ones just because of geologically where you are and the type of weather you guys have, it's easier for most of the US to have chickens all year round in good weather than it is to have Canada, right? So, like, I understand if you want to protect your sort of interest that way.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, bro, all these chickens are just warehouse grown. Fuck.
Oh, I understand, but like at least there's a sort of a justification for, I don't know, let's say we actually get to fisticuffs between Canada and the US, right? That you still can buy eggs because you have some people that have chickens.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, we found it out during COVID, right? Like, was it like, I think Canada, and it was like similarly in the Netherlands, I think, where like almost all the toilet paper was made abroad.
Yeah.
Like I think Canada buys like 90% of its toilet paper from the US, right? Like so if you were to ever actually have a problem between countries, like
what a weird start to a world pandemic is like the toilet paper run. That was just, if you think about it in retrospect, how in the hell did that make sense? Other than the fact that it's one of the largest items in the shop that you can buy. So like if you go to a soup can department, right, like you can take 15, 20 and it doesn't make a dent in the aisle, but you take 15, 20 fucking paper towels or toilet paper packages, like that aisle is empty all of a sudden. So I think maybe that was the psychosis, I guess. But god, that was weird. Legitimately, like I went to the store, I remember I was rationed a fucking a 4-pack roll.
yeah.
Good old days.
Here in the US, I think there is this built-in bulk buying thing, right? That's
Yeah, it's definitely nothing. It's very un-European, right?
yeah.
Because we've never bulk buy or bulk bought anything before I moved to Canada. Like I remember, and it's also different because the density of population is different, and you can just take the elevator down and walk into a convenience store, a half a block down the street. Where fucking good luck in Calgary, like wherever I lived, even if it was in the apartment, my closest store was a 15-minute drive
Yeah.
or an hour and a half on a bus. So no, like that's just
Yeah,
it's
a
different. So
lot of
you stack up.
Europeans can't comprehend. Like, I mean,
Just
I
is on its own. Fuck.
for all the Dutchies here, right? Like, I live in the middle of Florida. If I go to Miami, it's like a 4.5 hour drive.
Which isn't that big of a deal, really.
And Miami isn't even fully South Florida, right? Like, you can go another hour and a half, 2 hours south of Miami and still be in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from the middle to the bottom, right? So like from extremity to extremity, it's so far.
It is insanely far.
I mean, also the closest other city to me is literally Orlando, which is like 2 hours away. But that geographically, but after that it's Miami, which is 4.5 hours away, and then there's a bunch of nothing and just snakes and wildlife and dangerous shit in between.
But the weird thing is, like, I noticed, like, since I moved to Quebec, like, they perceive that distance also very Europeanish.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, we gotta go to Quebec City, which is only like 2.5 hour drive. It's like, oh, it is so far. Fuck, man. Like, I had jobs in Kelowna, which is 8 hour drive. You know.
I lived in Utrecht. Amsterdam was 40 minutes away. That was far.
Like, fudge sticks, dude. And here, yeah, like. Yeah, I booked a hotel if I went to Kelowna, but we drove, like, it was not a big deal to drive that distance. And I've never, like, we've done, you know, to Invermere, it's 2.5 hours from Calgary, minimum, 3 hours. And you get in there, you leave at, let's say, 6 in the morning, you get there at 9, you do a full job of install, and you come home, you leave at 4, and you get back at 7 and wake up to another day. But, here you spend a lot more in a stop and go dense traffic than in Calgary or in Alberta or in Western Canada, where you spend a long time sitting behind the wheel staring at flat surface or a straight road. BC is a little different. That'll keep you up at night. Fuck, there's a lot of curves and shit. But Alberta, Saskatchewan, man, you can see your dog. That's why I don't even know if the earth, like, that's, if there's a place to ponder if the earth is flat, it's definitely Saskatchewan, dog. Like, fuck, man. You can see your dog run for 2 days on the field.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So, yeah, if the earth is flat, Saskatchewan is the center of it. 100%. It just comes to plateau and drops off. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I honestly laughed, and I'm not laughing anymore, but like the talks of Alberta separating now, right, from Canada is more than real. So I might, if they actually do pull the pin on it, I will be bonjour nay from here and bon voyage. Bon voyaging my ass back to Alberta.
Let's see how
many people
euros
still miss me there. How far is far?
Yeah, I mean, because it very much changes per country, right? Because, like, in France, France is way bigger than the Netherlands. So, I mean, so far becomes a different concept when your country is very, like, enormous. But, like, like Texas is like 4 times the size of France or something like that, right? It's like Texas is enormous. I mean, Florida, I think, is roughly something the size of Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and then a bit of France still. Like, I think Florida is about the same size as the UK, including most of Ireland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's 1 of 50, right? It's like...
Yeah, US is big. So is Canada, but Canada has a lot of unpopulated places to go to.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, right? Like the other state I'm quite familiar with is Wisconsin. And if you go from, I don't know, Madison to Milwaukee or Milwaukee to, like, up north, like Green Bay or something, there is so much nothing. Where it's like all you see is nothing. Well, it's trees and stuff, but that's it, right? Like, I don't know, walk a mile into the forest and, like, you're not going to see anybody for, like, a few days.
Yeah, and also, like, those roads. I've been to places that when I traveled sometimes, I'm like, fuck, man, if my car gives up here, how many hours, if not days, before somebody finds me here to drive by? Because it's just, it's such desolate roads. Sometimes you go and...
Oh, yeah, like sister-in-law and brother-in-law, right? They live close together. One lives in Madison, one is in Milwaukee. It's like an 1.5 2 hour drive from each other. Like, and everybody here calls that close. Like, what the hell, man?
But, yeah, it's...
I mean, yeah, that's another thing, like, how traffic... Like, compared to the Netherlands, Florida compared to the US is crazy and busy, right, in terms of traffic. But compared to the Netherlands, it's not. Because, I mean, Utrecht of Amsterdam is what, like, I don't know, like 30 miles or something? Or like 45 kilometers, something like that. it can take you 2-3 hours to do that trip if it's busy.
Well, the Montreal is the same way. Like, you know,
Yeah.
8 kilometers can take you an hour to move through because it's just light after light, and the call is the bikes,
Yeah.
the cyclists, man, with the Bixie nonsense, all these rent-a-morons that just no idea, and they all have AirPods or those big Apple buds on, right? Completely oblivious, probably fucking noise canceling too, turned on, so he doesn't hear shit. And then just bike through the lights, red or green, doesn't matter. I'm going through. So I'm not a fan of bike lanes. But
If I had to guess, it's mostly continental Europeans here and then some Brits because it's the 100 miles.
the threshold, yeah, I was looking at that too. Yeah, it's definitely the European point of view on distances is completely different compared to what it is. I've lived here bigger half of my life in Canada now, so for me those distances are just normal thing, right?
Yeah.
For me, it was fucked up when I moved to Montreal and everything was so close. Like it's weird. It reminded me of being home, but nobody speaks your language to begin with because it's all French, more or less. But if you go to
Just,
Laval, it's
just
very
speak
more.
Slovak and accuse them of racism.
Or Polish or whatever. But yeah, if you go to Laval, it's way more Westerner style than the old Montreal. But it's been built 408 years ago, so it's interesting. But I guess I think the Montreal is silently suffering the New York syndrome as well when it comes to the infrastructure because it's all falling apart in one way or the other.
Yeah, I found out here why the infrastructure isn't crumbling, and it's literally a choice the state government makes. And the reason being is that Florida, well, not necessarily relies, but like it's become so normal that there is so much tourism,
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing a tourist sees is the roads.
That's right.
And that's why they keep them in excellent condition, because it's the first thing you can compare, like getting out the airport to your own state, right? And then you go, ooh, this is actually really nice here.
That's it. No, I agree. The roads make a big impression. The first
I
time in the
mean,
city
I've
driving.
been over almost all of the states in the US, right? Have a good one, Michael. And Florida has one of the best roads there are, like compared to like Illinois or Wisconsin or even Tennessee and Georgia, right? Like state is the closest to like continental European standards in terms of roads.
And
Like,
I live in a city where before I moved to Montreal, before I went to Florida, I changed my shocks in the car, both
yeah,
fronts and backs, for brand new. And last year I had to replace them because Montreal will finish the fuck out of your car completely with the salt and the amount of road uh, potholes there is in here. It's insane. And they have that I call it the Apache because it's just a little machine that comes in and puts a patch and just like little pancake mix whatever the fuck they got in there, right, with a little roly poly, and it makes a little, and then it's just it's all over the map. It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, British roads are pretty terrible compared to continental Europe.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. Here it's the worst I've ever seen in Canada or ever anywhere that I have. Fuck, I've been to Dominican. It wasn't that bad. Yes, once you get into the sticks and shit, yes, but not. Uh, I don't know.
I mean, Britain has a lot of fun roads, right? But like a lot of the main roads, the quality, like there's potholes everywhere, and it's like, but also like scary ass potholes, like
No, there's some that are called the rim splitters here. Like
yeah.
it's not just pop your wheel. Like you are losing that wheel completely. Like you're done. It's unbelievable.
I mean, the amount of pothole dodging you do on the motorway in Britain is pretty insane.
Well, here, like when I first moved here, I'm like, fuck, I thought everybody was drinking and driving because they're just swerving everywhere. And then I realized, yeah, I need to start doing that too because I'm going to lose my wheels. And call this. I still like the EXs. I haven't had a chance to listen to the 11s, but I like my EXs. Speaking of the picture scrolling through the screen for anybody that is only in the audio experience.
Yeah, every so often I still think of buying some, but my E8s refuse to die, so.
And they're good.
Yeah, so I'm not that bothered. I mean, the only thing that is nice is or a massive upgrade really, is that they these EXs and E11s work individually, right? The E8s don't. Like the right one is the master, and the left one will not work without the right one. The right one will work without the left one, but not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. See, honestly, I've never had the need for just one earbud. I'm not one of those people that just is like, plugged into the matrix with one ear. And if I'm listening to something, I'm both ears in.
That's exactly what I did with pulling wires, right? Like I put my left one in and my right one open so I could still like sort of hear what was going on below me. And then on the phone call to below, like, do you hear anything?
Oh, yeah. I use walkie-talkies for that. The guys were laughing at me till they realized, like, fuck, this guy is that's a smart idea. I'm like, yeah, man, we're in a fucking 4,500 square foot home, call this. I'm on the 4th floor. Fuck you. What do you think? I'm gonna yell to the what's it called? The air vent into the ducts? Like, come on, here's a fucking radio. Learn how to use it. You press and you talk. You let go when you're finished talking.
Over.
Like, don't fucking call me on the phone, and then you go in downstairs and there's no signal. Now what?
What's the difference between the EX and the 11s? Software a little bit and colors.
And noise cancellation, because they added one more microphone or two more microphones. I don't remember correctly. You can tell that I've done training on those, but I haven't heard them, so I can't tell or say if they're better. They're gonna be better, but by how much better? It's
not a new platform. It's minimal. I mean, it's sort of like Beolit 17 to Beolit 20. They're almost the same.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy any of these, you might, and you see a deal on the EXs, you might as well buy the EXs.
I would recommend it too. Yeah, get with the EXs. They're nice. They sound great.
A specific color you must have.
So.
They are really leaning into their Formula One connection now, finally.
That's a regular one. Beosound too.
Yeah, it almost looks like that contrast edition version. Like it's matte or something.
It looks like almost different, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just, it's not photoshopped in there, I hope. They could have centered it with the table, though.
Yeah. It's kind of plonked down.
It's a little bit of my ADD on that. Like, if I'm making a picture with somebody famous that everybody's going to see, I'm going to make sure that it's line symmetric. But what do I know? It's the same like towing in the speakers in Alicia Keys' house, for God's sakes.
Yeah, these H100s are now going to be, what is it, $1,800 after this price rise?
Wow.
Crazy.
Try them out. Which ones did you try out? The EXs?
Or E11s. Wait, are you sure?
I think that you should get the
Comply foam.
The Comply pads. It was memory foam, but Comply pads, man, that's what I use, because I don't like those rubber ding-dongs. They don't stay in my ears either. But the Comply pads, like, you got to try hard to get them off your ears.
I find with the rubber things, you need to oversize them a bit. And that's the only way they stay put properly.
But then they kind of put pressure on your ear canal and expanding it, right? So
Yeah.
I do like the comply ones are much better. They don't last nowhere near as long, I guess. Depends on your ears, but you can buy a bunch of them and just be happy with the headphones.
I mean, I use my AirPod Pros all the time, don't get me wrong, but like they also have fit issues to me. And it's like this plastic that is so goddamn slippery that if you sweat or like it's common here
Off
in
your head,
Florida,
yeah.
like if you do not oversize the rubber in-ear bit, right, they're just gonna fall out.
Hmm.
Like even with the rubber bit, they have a tendency in my ears anyway to fall out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess this is the only ones that don't are the one like the E6s with that sort of inner ear prong thing, right? Like I have them here with like this like sort of in ear flap thingy.
Because you can modify those too, no?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you get a baggie of larger or shorter versions of that.
Hmm.
I mean, they're probably in their box somewhere. These are also one of the last ones where you get like a baggie to carry them in with.
Good old baggies. I still have my baggies.
I somehow ended up with way too many headphones and earbuds and things.
So have I. I actually have all the colors of the Form 2s. I remember I was going through my boxes the other day. I'm like, fudge, I have all these still. Not that I'll ever listen to them, but they're cool to have hanging on the wall, I guess. But yeah, I have a lot of headphones from B&O over time. I stopped gathering now. I just don't, I cut it off at EXs at this point. And I guess the Portal's the big ones, but that's it. I'm finished.
Well, I also don't have the hip lifestyle of going into like I don't know
Well, I don't
offices
take
with ping pong
metro and
tables and stuff like that.
well, but I don't take a metro. I don't really, travel public transit, so I don't have a need to mute myself out from other people's or mute other people's out more or less. I'm usually in the car. If it's not my car, it's the work van. So in that work
Uh,
in that work van, I don't really listen to much anything.
Holy moly, they're available by the way.
What?
The iPhone.
17?
No, was it the
Oh, the cases? Yeah,
yeah, $150. Holy shit.
it's nice though. It's aluminum. It's very biogramish. And they have two colors, I guess. And it's got that magnet so you can get that optional money clip for it. There you go. There's the money clips on the bottom with the leather ones.
Which is another $100, so it's like $250 on a case and a wallet.
But they are cool. They are very cool.
I mean, they have these.
It's too bad that Samsung is completely forgotten for all the cool shit. Like they only make Apple cases on even the Vaha cases that I used to like a lot. They stopped making anything for devices like Samsung's and it's all Apple nonsense now. It's kind of sad. You don't really have much of the high end cases now for
Well, I don't have
Android
an
platforms.
iPhone Pro, so like this doesn't work
You're
for
out
me.
of luck too. Yeah.
I mean, I came from what did I have? I currently have was an iPhone 16, I think, and I had an 11 before. So like, yeah, it's so pro to me, right? Like,
Fuck, this is my like the S24 that I have right now on contract is my first contract phone since 2011. So for the last 13 years, I haven't really owned a phone that was even sold by any of our service providers here. They used to have Lumigon. Then I bought that Ulefone, a brick, and then I finally cratered and caved in. There's the comply pads right there.
Yeah. And then
But yeah, into preppy, like the comply pads are that's the way to go with the headphones for sure, or with the earbuds in my opinion, because they don't slip out, and then you have a whole bunch of different sizes, depends on your ear holes, I guess. But yeah, they work very well.
I think back in the day, I think you only got like the large or something.
I think so, yeah. Or
maybe that's
ones.
why I had a bad experience, because like I needed like medium, and that's why, like, because I compressed them too much every time. Maybe that's why they didn't last as long.
Yeah, I have medium ones for mine. They work perfect, and I've had them for a while now. So, but you know, I'm also one of those that actually cleans their ears every now and then, so it's not pull a fucking Roman candle out of your head, for God's sakes.
I need to make an old-fashioned torch. Like, go cave diving.
Holy Christ on a cross. Yeah, I know. So that's but yeah, comply pads are awesome. I don't know. I prefer the earbuds over the even the big headphones, because you know I find people walking around with all these big cans on their heads, and it starts to fucking rain, and you know, like, there's shit in the water, and you're walking through the whatever it's dripping off the trees and whatever is on it, and stains your leather. And I don't like. To me, earbuds are the best for going out and running around. But
this is
really, I use them more or less for phone calls.
E8 and E6 motion, like, this is crazy look.
See-through ones.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the comply pads came with the EXs. I think you get one pair of large with them, if I remember.
I think so too, if I remember correctly as well. But I don't. I would be bullshitting you. It's been a while, and we don't really open those headphones in our shop. But yeah.
Anyway, if you're wondering, on the B&O website, if you go to like menu, there's a drop down, and just go to accessories, and that's where you can find all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or just go to your dealer.
That's right.
They should have most of this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can get a whole bunch of stuff, except backlit remote control. The charger, how much is that now? $60? The white one there. Because now there's a thing.
$60, yeah, for the USB-C fast charging.
Yes, and now there is in a newsletter that was. I'm going to touch on that as well, so I don't forget. It's a good reminder. Is going to be 2 SKUs now. So if you're buying an A5, you can order it with or without the charger.
I think that's a European thing.
No, it's for us too.
Yeah, but it's unified, right? Because if one major, what you call it, sort of economy says it's going to be like this, everybody agrees to it. Because it's more work to like not have it be that way in America than to just do it everywhere the same.
Yeah, but you can order the A1 or A5 story with and without the charger. It's 2 SKUs, and it's going to be for level and everything else that has that charger in it, which is kind of goofy, but it's basically reaching to the same point where iPhones are, that I think you have enough chargers in the house, right, that you don't really need an extra one when it comes with your phone, or they just want to charge you extra for it.
Well, the thing is, the A5, right? If you get it'll charge with like a 20 watt or whatever charger. No problem. It'll even charge off an iPhone charge or an iPad charge. That's fine, but it won't go into battery mode, into powered wall mode, because it doesn't supply enough power.
Mm-hmm.
So you need this 45 watt charger.
or equivalent from other manufacturers per
Yeah,
se.
but what was it? It needs to. There is something on the. It needs to provide something like uh, over 25 watts, 24 volts, or something like that. I forget the
Exactly how much.
specs exactly, but like not all 45-watt chargers are the same. I found out because even if you look at like the Anchor ones, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's used
it
by
often
cameras and
says it's
magnifiers.
like 60 watts or something, but it's split over the two outlets.
Okay, so input 1 to 240 volts, 50, 60 hertz, 1.5 amps. Output 5 volts, 3 amps, 15 watts, 12 volts, 3 amps, 36 watts, 20 volts, 2.25 amps at 45 watts, 9 volts
It's a 20 volt
at 3
spec.
amps, yeah, and 15 volts at 3 amps, 45 watts. So that's all the powers that this thing can supply. But yeah, you need the top juice for juicing the level and A5 when they're in a wall mount mode, because they will need that power for sure.
Yeah, and if you want to play them off like the power adapter instead of the battery,
Yes.
and that's what I found out as well because I have a is it some charger? I think it's from Anchor. I have
Hmm.
two of them, and one works and one doesn't. And the difference is that one splits it the total because, like it says on the package, X amount of watt, right? But it's sneaky because on the back it's like it's split over these two, whereas the other one
Oh,
is like it's maximum for either.
port. Yeah. Hmm. But I think that it's not that it's going to present an issue, but it's a possible problem when people buy that and then they just plug it into their whatever phone charger they have in the kitchen, or they use a USB outlet from the wall mount or wall sockets, right? Like they come in now with 2 amps output. That's not going to be enough.
No, it's not.
And I just, not that I fear, but I see the phone calls coming in that my device is dying even though it's plugged in. But it is because it cannot keep up charging and outputting what's demanded off of it. So
Yeah, yeah. It's one of these things you only find out every so often.
yeah. And I guess for people that are interested in what's going on for 100th anniversary from BNO, I still have no fucking clue, by the way, because they're pretty quiet about everything. So yeah, the only thing I can confirm, the rumor has it that the A1 third gen is coming out. So that's solid on the way.
Yeah, I think some people in the Discord already said that,
Yeah, yeah.
which
So
is
that's coming.
I don't really see that as a 100th thing.
I hope to God that it isn't, man, unless they anodize it in freaking gold or something. But that's not what I'm hoping for. And I hope it's not a recolor of a theater per se, or something, or a redo of like limited edition Harmony or some nonsense. Like I hope it's a new product. But so far the quiet is deafening, and you know what? I do like it because at least the anticipation is building up and it's real. We only got a few more months to wait for it now, and see what happens.
I really hope they do something because so far for their anniversary year, it seems rather sparse.
Hmm.
Like unless they, for once, literally keep us so in the dark. But like I can honestly say that I have no clue.
Neither
Like,
do I.
and I would honestly say if I had an inkling, like it's gonna be awesome or something, it's like I I suspect things, but it's not because I know or have an inkling. But technically, their year ends in what is it, June?
I think so.
So the last period of their 100th is essentially their launch period. This is the last week of April, August.
Mm-hmm. So there are some things that are gonna definitely have to come out for the 100 for sure, but I just don't know what.
I would hope so, but it's a bit okay. Because normally, right, like, and by normally I mean over the last, what, 6, 7 years, it's been so bad that by now a lot of people knew.
We would have known, yeah, but
And personally, like, they may come out with like 100th anniversary everything, but uh, if it's color changes, it's not exciting to me.
no, I could care less to have the BeoLab 28s engraved with the 100th anniversary logo on them.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not really something you do for a century of doing business.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll come out with the fucking remote control that has backlit buttons and screen that you can touch and does things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they should make anything better than the 90s, but make something special, make something limited in a way. I mean, they went all out for 90 years, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and we're still kind of celebrating the 90th 10 years later.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they did the 90s for the 100th anniversary. I think that would have been a pinnacle. And go with the 50s for the 90th anniversary. You know what I mean? Should have been BioLab 90s, should have been the 50s, and the 90s should have been the 100s. And wait 10 years, and maybe they could have developed it better, or I don't know. But it's just like, how do you top that, for God's sakes? Like, as a speaker, there's you can go larger, because then it becomes a point where we can't fit this through your door, Mr. Customer, right? Like, there is a limitation of how big you can go with this. Weight limitation, I think we're at the very verge of it, or edge of it, because anything heavier than that, it's definitely a nightmare to bring in, because how do you fucking bring this in? You bring it in the box, which is another 30-40 kilos on top in additional weight, right? It's not fun to bring it, and especially in older buildings here where you have stairs and shit, no elevator. God, is
any bigger, and you have to split it like 28s, where it's like build
half
it
and
up.
half. Yeah, you have to build it together or assemble it together, which is crazy that the 28s get another extra set of boxes into their plethora of boxes that they're already.
It's so many boxes.
Man, like, the only product that has more boxes is the Shape.
Yeah, but it has so many pieces, right? Like, that sort of makes sense.
Yes.
But, like, my office isn't exactly large, but it's not small either. But just 228s, and this place would be, like, I would have to step over shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, 2 columns, 2 woofers, 2 backbones, 2 grills.
It's like boxes, like yay high.
Yeah, and then you have the 2 inside grills as well, because they are going to be supplied separately. So it's this whole new music system for streaming and home personal data, digital music. I would love if they had come out with, like what we were talking about even earlier in this podcast, and for past, since the moment got discontinued years, that they are in need of an audio master with nothing but pure musical experience, instead of just, like, I don't know, how do they not see that? Like, yes, everybody's got an app, but you just don't do anything, or you just don't do that only on the app. And even if you are trying to have a musical experience in your BNO app, and a fucking text message comes in from your boss or something that you need to reply, that you otherwise would have missed and gotten to it later, and it wouldn't have mattered anyways.
Yeah.
But you do it right away, and it's distractive. So I really yearn for a audio master of some sorts that would be a Mozart based streaming platform in some sort of a sleek screen device.
Look, I'm perfectly happy if it's just an interface, right? And you're borrowing the sources from whatever you're connecting it to. Because like anything new, like the Beosound 2 even has a bunch of options you can pick from. It's just that you need the interface to connect with it that's not your phone. But that's another thing, right? From what I understand, there's quite a lot of turnover in the personnel at marketing, and they love their spreadsheets, as do all modern businesses. And from what I gather, apparently 80% of the people use their phones, and almost everybody uses AirPlay. And it's sort of like, maybe, but like, how many of the single item customers do you count in that? And are those really the people you're after? I doubt it, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to know that most people are on Apple or on iPhones, which is fine. That's handy. But like, are a lot of people using their phones because it's easier or because they just never bought a remote? Like, the people, and do you know, right? The people that have remotes, how often do they use their phone versus remote? Because the remote is not attached to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people that have Beo remote ones really, on average, right, do not like using their phone for a lot of stuff.
I don't use my phone a lot.
I mean,
at all.
even the people with like, let's say, the triangle theater setup and nothing else in their house, if they have a B&O remote, they probably don't use the app that much. The app is more of a thing of like, it stopped working, I'm going to use the app now.
Mm-hmm. Which recently I see also, that's another thing, that's a good point to bring up with the remote control parity, retention and connectivity with the Beosound theater. And on some ASC platforms, because I've had, well, the service call I'm doing on Tuesday is a completely different story because I think it's the power supply issue and the harmony. But apparently, even Sandeep is getting 3 dots on the remote control when it drops out. I realized that it does it with me, or the only time that I notice when it happens, if the battery is below 20%. This is at 97 because I changed it the other day. But
I've not yet had any of that. I have one remote attached to my theater that is really slow compared to the other one. And it's especially on startup, right? Like, I have the Silk remote and the anthracite remote. The anthracite remote is like, you press something, it happens instantly. The Silk remote, for some reason, even if you press a My button, it's like, okay, we're establishing connection. Let's wait a minute. Okay. Click, click, click. Yes, we're going. It's really that difference of time period, right? When you press the same My button on the
is
same.
it on the same software?
Yeah.
Is it the oldest one you have?
No. The oldest one is in the bedroom.
Okay.
It's, I mean, the difference.
And I'm sure your factory reset the thing and reconnected it.
Yeah, several times. It's to the point where, like, if you use the diamond button, there is like a visible delay in where, like, the
and the operating system of the remote itself.
No, if you go, like, I don't know, to your LG screen with all the tabs, right, of stuff.
Yeah.
The black one is right.
Yeah.
The silk one is right.
Oh, wow. So it's slower than a puck.
Yeah. And if you use it for, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, it starts to become faster. So it's really strange. So
it doesn't make any sense.
It kind of became like the dining room table TV, because, like, okay, if this insert goes, it's fine. I mean, the only thing the only thing I can think of is, like, I'll change the insert from the bedroom around and see if the older one has the same thing.
I noticed that since the 4.1 software on the Mozart, the least remote that I ever use is in the hallway. That is connected to the Emerge. And every now and then, when I used to, like, let's say 3 months ago, when I would press whatever, it would take a while to connect. Same thing with the Essence remotes to the level in the bathroom. If I would leave it for, like, I sometimes don't touch it for more than 48 hours, 72 hours. And now the retention of Bluetooth is almost instantaneous. It used to be that would give me the 3 dots, but since the 4.1 and upward software, it's fine on all the remotes, and I had an issue with that before. The only one that kind of slowly connects is the Beosound one with the piano black remote. but I honestly think that is the way that the response time is on the old ASC platform, because even if I go with the Halo, it takes, let's say, a second and a half longer for it to load up the interface versus if you're in the Mozart, it just clicks right away, puts the My buttons on, and so on. So there is a definitely something, but I noticed that if the batteries in the remotes are below 20% in charge, they start to, I think, go into the extended power save, maybe, if they're not used for a while, and that's when you get the 3 dots. And sometimes they have a
I have
connectivity
to check
issue.
that for like my slow one, because my slow one doesn't give me the 3 dots. It's just been really, but it's been like this for 6 months, right?
Hmm.
It's just been that slow. It's like I've just been used to that. My Silk remote is really just that slow. I mean,
Maybe
it's to the
swap it
point
to
where,
a
like, if you
control a
go
different
volume up
product.
and down, there is like a noticeable, because like I go volume
Hmm.
2 up, right? I can put the remote down, like sit back, and you see it go up on the screen by the time like you're not touching anything. Like that's how much of a delay there is.
That's interesting. I would, fuck, what would I do? I would connect it to a different product and just see if it's the same behavior, and delete all the rest. Like I would just factory reset the remote and connect it only to a, like, let's say an M3 if you have it in the bathroom or whatever, and see if that lag is there for that. Because that makes no sense, man. That really doesn't make any sense. It could be an internal fault inside the remote control itself
Yeah.
that just progressively gets worse and worse.
Well, it was my primary for a while, and it was fine. It worked fine on the Harmony.
Hmm.
And I mean, this only started with the theater, and when it became this, well, it never was the primary. When it, like, I connected it second to the theater,
Hmm.
so I don't know. I'll mess around with it, see if I can fix it a bit.
Weirdly enough, this is not related to the remote controls, but YouTube, I guess. I was at my girlfriend's place for the weekend, and I was gonna show her a video because we're gonna bathe the cat. All right, so let's watch a video
Good
on how
luck.
to bathe the fucking cat. So, and I go on YouTube and I see, Maria's TV. So I click on it and share it through Chromecast. It pulled up the internal YouTube of the V1, and it worked. I was shocked because usually the video would pause maybe 2 seconds in and you just have the sound. It actually worked. I thought I would swear that I was in Apple TV, but I'm like, why is the video quality such shit? And you go back and actually try to
Yeah.
get the menu from the Apple TV pack. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, oh no, I'm in a smart of the V1. But yeah, I know the cat. Like I'm wearing a little bit of a combat wound on my shoulder, but yeah, we bathed it. We bathed her with success, relatively.
I didn't. Yeah.
It's one of those we had to do it. So,
This is a very millennial thing to do, to bathe your cat. Like, why?
well, no, it was too much. It was too dirty, and like it's just you got to do it. And it's not gonna be something we're gonna be doing every time, but it's been a year, and it's so I'm like, okay, let's do that because she was getting pretty gross. Now she's not, and she was pissed. She was not. I have to camper about that.
Yeah, I understand. Most cats are kind of anti-water.
Oh yeah. Paul's asking, how can I get my Halo to control the volume of home group of speakers in the Google Home app? Any ideas? I don't think that's possible. I know that you can control a group of speakers in the BNO's environment via the BLI or Bio Living Intelligence, where you can assign a common volume group or whatever the actual specific BNO term for that is. But you are able to just have a one volume button or volume key, let's say on the Halo, that you can control the volume. Like if I were to do it, I would probably put the Beosound one, the theater, and maybe the even if I did the rest of the house, so then you can turn the volume up and down with everything.
Yeah, the only way I think you can do that if you like Chromecast or Google Home app or whatever to one speaker, and then in the B&O app or on the Halo multi-room it to the rest?
I don't think it'll affect it. I don't think it'll control volume globally. It'll just join through Chromecast, or like if you're Chromecasting into one speaker and all the rest you join through B&O, that's BeoLink, so the volume is control is independent. You could control the volume in the app with the, once the volume slider turns orange, which is all of them, then you can control it. But there is no way that I know of. And I don't really use the Google nonsense for streaming music and all that. I do have two talkable two B&O products still, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, but it works every now and then, especially just, I ask it the time and when weather more or less, but I don't use Google at all at home for that. And quite honestly, now I guess with the gateway established the way it was back in my old apartment, when I get home, I use my A1 keyring to basically press light command, and it turns on the whole house, and the radio turns on in the hallway while I do all my stuff. And then once I get here, I just turn on the My Button one, and theater fires up, and then I just move on with my life. And I guess the only time that I listen to the music in all the rooms is when I'm cleaning. So I put the cleaning mode on, and then everything turns on, and you go from there. But I never. The closest that I've ever gotten to utilize the Google's nonsense was with in the old apartment with the IFTTT as well, which I
I
would
was
yell
just going to
out.
say the only thing I can think of otherwise than that is if you integrate it through IFTTT, that if this then that, like if volume up on Halo, then all volume goes up. But it's a home automation thing.
It's a home automation thing, and I think back in the day I was still a legacy user, and I kind of abandoned it now because I was in a legacy paying I think $2 a month for the subscription service, which now is like $10.
Mm-hmm.
But it became as a function to me completely obsolete. But in the old apartment, yes, I've been using I think maybe 15 to 20 verbal commands that would trigger the gateway to do certain things. Like I would just go, hey Google, I'm going for a cigar, and it would move the Avant out of the way of the balcony door, and without having the TV being turned on per se. Like it had a whole bunch of different functionalities in that house, but now I don't really like. I use the Google voice commanding here a little bit more than I did in the old apartment as well, because I don't have Lutron keypads in my rooms. And if you actually combine lighting system into the B&O environment through the gateway, and you assign certain functions on the keypads, you hardly ever find yourself even using the remote control. Especially like if you're going to bed, you have a sleep routine that a certain radio station turns on for the next half hour before after you pass out, it shuts off the whole house and blah blah blah. It all takes it's controlled automatically. You don't have to think about anything. So and that's where I started shaving off that need for I guess voice guidance.
That's where I use the Halo quite often. It's like literally going to bed, you scroll up and like stand by everything.
Yeah.
Which is an excellent command. Like, okay, like everything is off. Like it doesn't matter if it's off already, just make sure that all the M3s in bedrooms and guest bedrooms and stuff, like it's all off. We're done.
Yeah, but you can do it with a long press of the Beo Remote 1. But if you don't have the Beo Remote 1 in the bedroom, then I guess you're hooked, right? Because you're running it through the core. You're running a stage, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do a long press on the Beo Remote 1. It'll do the same.
Yeah, but I only have one Beo Remote 1 in the bedroom. It's most often on the other side of the bed because I don't really use that TV. I mean, I understand it could work, right? But I would literally have to go like rummage and like, honey, where's the remote? I need to long press because Willie told me to.
Get an Essence remote, you asshole. Put it on the other side, wall mounted on your freaking bed. God, it's. But yeah, I do like the automation part of it. It's probably one of the most undersold products in the B&O realm. But then again, it's very hard to sell it. From what I see in our store, like it's hard to sell people on B&O's automation, where like we do Savant or Lutron. But Lutron works with B&O, so I just don't understand where the disconnect. Maybe it's just the fear of unknown. And I guess if I move on from here, then they have nobody to program the BLIs after that.
Coming back to the alarm clock, like what's it called again? The flute.
Yeah, BeoTime.
Yeah, the BeoTime. If there's no nice device to interface with it, like it's hard to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luton keypads are nice enough, right? But if you do not have your house memorized, you're still like gonna like it's a keypad, and you're still gonna go.
But you know what, though? I disagree, because if you actually follow through with the entire Lutron process and you do
No, I
fix
understand,
your
but like
engraving
coming new
certificates,
into it, right? Like as a new customer,
yes.
instead of just like picking up your BeoTime and just clicking on stuff, like click off, for instance. Like if you're new to the Lutron, it's this thing on the wall, and you go like, "Where is off?" Like,
But it's easy to see, though, Mikey. Like if you actually follow through and you
if
do
you have good eyes, I don't.
cash in if you cash in your engraving certificates and you don't use those cheeseball stickers that they fucking come with in the box for temporary use,
Mm-hmm.
and you put them on, the buttons are backlit, so the lights go through, so you can see exactly what it is, and it's not small. Like I don't have good eyes, but I can definitely see it. And at the end of the day, like if you look at it, if you have everything in coherency, then most likely the bottom switch or bottom button will be always all off for that room,
Oh,
right?
don't get me wrong. I like Lutron, right, and they're very nice devices. It's good stuff. It's just since I don't have it, every time I'm in a house with Lutron, I find myself looking on the keypad like,
Well,
what are
yeah,
we
you
doing?
need to discover what the fuck are you gonna press.
Yeah, but in terms of like selling that is a harder sell because it's like a stationary thing on a wall with like a lot of options versus like something like the BeoTime.
Mm.
And that's kind of more where like I'm saying like they should make more stuff like BeoTimes that do that stuff. Like Lutron is nice, but it's nicer to have this like delicate piece of aluminium in your hands, especially if we're apparently catering to the people making 10+ million a year.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I would imagine stuff like the BeoTime, like the flute, went over much better with interior designers than just about anything else they made.
It was a very popular. Like I remember in Calgary, a lot of people bought that thing because also, even though it was expensive, it was one of the cheapest things you could buy from B&O to start yourself with. You know, I've had a lot of people that ended up buying the BeoTime after they bought the Beosound One, or vice versa, right? But I mean, the old school Beosound One with the radio and a CD in it, where you could control that. And you know, I like the BeoTime for the sake of the way that you can unlock the light commands in it, and you can shoot it into the gateway. So even, you know, if my, let's say, the Avant dies at some point and I lose the IR capability in that room, I'll probably put an Essence Mark II in it because I still have one with the IR. I don't care for it to be a streamer, just so it takes the light commands in.
Sad days, because it will die at some point.
I have a spare video board for it, and I have a spare display for it, so I'm set for a few more years. I do need to put a fan in the back of it. I need to find a fucking old ass Toshiba laptop.
Or you
And
need to manage to aim your AC outlet directly on it.
but that's the problem in the winter. It's hot air, bro.
Yeah, in the winter you put those lamellas the other way.
So, but yeah, in the summer it doesn't. You know, like I watch the TV maybe 2 hours a week at the most, or 3. I think the one thing that I would be mostly concerned about is the speaker chassis coming up and down, in and out all these times. I'll probably kill that before I kill the video engine in it. But
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
love that TV still. It's such a good TV. Picture and everything is still good. And
yeah, it's your baby. It's your.
yeah, that was definitely my baby. And
The longer this has been out, the more and more. By the way, I love this picnic basket. It's so great.
I like the look of it. It sounds great too, man. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
It's a very nice. It's a very nice speaker.
I mean, since it is Easter, I thought this was absolutely the right picture to use for the thumbnail because it is such a picnic basket.
It is. It is. It's a beautiful system, and I think honestly that also brought the writing on the wall for the Beolit 20. I think the Beolit 20 is gonna, if it's already, I don't even know if it's EOL or not, but I'm sure it's gonna go anytime soon.
Yeah, like
because what's the point?
But yeah, literally, because this does all the important bits, right?
It does everything that Beolit 20 does. Plus, it's a multi-room system, so which exactly is what people like to do when they go outside and they have let's say a Beosound 2 in the living room or a kitchen or a core. Then you got this going in there for outside. I don't think Bang & Olufsen is dying, Oscar.
I mean, it's expensive. It's not dying. It's not.
No, it's nowhere
It's
near
not
dying.
getting any younger, but it's sort of staying put where it is. Look, I would like them to do better, but then you can say that about a lot of things, really. I would also like them to be cheaper, but if the way forward is to go ultra expensive, then they are maybe dying to us. But as long as they're succeeding, it's fine. I'll just wait for secondhand things.
Exactly.
I mean, I now fortunately have a friend that does these extremely expensive builds, and these people are insane because, like he was telling me, somebody put like 150 grand a Crestron in his house for home automation. 6 months later, he didn't like it, so rip it out. Like, didn't even want like to get like a discount or anything. Just put something because it's only money, right? It's like only 150 grand. It's like Jesus.
But you know what? I deal with people of that wealth and income and whatever. But when they get mad, they get fucking mad, dude. Like it doesn't matter. Get it the fuck out of my house. I don't care what it costs to rip out. I already fucking ate the dick on it, putting it in. So get it all out, and we start with something that actually works. But then you have a great responsibility to make sure that when you close that deal, that you actually go with something that they will like, and otherwise you're ripping that out too. So yeah, it's Crestron is probably the worst thing you can put in your house, especially nowadays. Like I understand it's a American system, but it's not designed for small homes, even the large homes. It's a it's a system that is designed for government facilities. That's what that's for. And it's also designed within the budgets that the official government facilities would allocate to such automations and such and whatever. So yeah, Crestron, it was a disaster. But back in the yesteryears of like when the coax cables were cool, I remember we were playing with Crestron because it was the only one that kind of sort of worked with B&O.
Yeah, and as we all know, governments are very efficient.
And that's why they make their money as far as Crestron is concerned. But no, like I would go, if I were to do anything, I would go with either a Savant or Lutron if I were to pick. But no, being in the B&O environment, I would go with the Lutron lighting system and just take over everything on the BLI and then use my remote control that I already am quite used to other than the backlit buttons. Then I can utilize everything in it through, if you tie in the air conditioning, the shades, the lights, you can do all of it at once. And it works well.
Yeah.
So,
on that note, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you have a good week and weekend and all that jazz.
And happy 420, I guess, wherever it counts, whoever it counts. Because today's the day.
Yeah, half this country, it's still super duper illegal.
Yeah, over here, it's everybody smoking pot all day. It was already good message. Are you going to the park? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to this country park. It's crazy. There's like 10,000 people that go in there and smoke weed all together.
You see like fumes coming out.
Oh man, it's crazy. I went there last year because it just worked out that it was a Saturday, and so we walked there, and yeah, 420 started, and it's just like it was like fucking Texan barbecue smokers were competing, and yeah, then everybody was happy.
But, yeah, you don't say.
I've seen that, been there, done that. I don't really need to go revisit it, but it was a cool experience, that's for sure, for what I remember. But anyways, have a great week, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.